hi everyone, I'm Martin Ashton, I'm Head of Population Health at the Greater Manchester Health and Social Care Partnership. So I'm a bit croaky this morning. For those of you who don't know what the partnership is, it's the 37 statutory organisations within Greater Manchester, NHS, local authority and wider, that work across the patch. And just to take you back probably 18 months, nearly 2 years now, the partnership produced its strategic document, which was very much prevention focused. Some of the key outputs of that are really connected closely with the work that we're talking about today. Hopefully you can read what's on that slide, but that's a visual representation of the strategy. So if you've not already read it, or you don't intend to read it, that would be a good place to start. And the really important aspects for us today are those first two circles on the screen. So radically upgrading our approach to population health is the one in circle 1, and transforming community-based care and support is that in circle 2. I think what people think about when they think about work that happens at Greater Manchester level is we do everything once. But the really important thing about how the Taking Charge strategy, as it's called, moves forward is it's about Greater Manchester cluster locality, and probably most importantly neighbourhood level. And what was really inspiring about what Elaine was saying is things that are very much bottom up will be the things that people connect to. We all talk very strongly, very glowingly about asset-based approaches and things like that at the moment without perhaps truly understanding what they mean. That is a fantastic example of something that the community can own, and hopefully by putting structures in across somewhere like GM we can actually introduce those neighbourhood concepts at scale. What you see on the screen here is a piece of work that Zoe, who sat in the audience, and some of her colleagues did whilst that Taking Charge strategy was being developed. And essentially it was a mass engagement exercise with 16,000 people across Greater Manchester to inform the development of that plan. I think it's just really helpful for the context of what we're talking about today. Because what you can see is 55% of people in GM who responded wanted to be more physically active. And that kind of chimed quite personally with me, because I'd probably consider myself to be a lapsed athlete. Whilst I'm still totally committed to being active, absolutely I wasn't. And I had the same excuse as everybody else around busy family, busy work, etc. But I'd made this commitment in my head, right, I was going to join a cycle scheme at work and I was going to commute to work. But it was just this idea I had. Then the GM moving plan was launched. I absent-mindedly tweeted my support for it online, and Hayley tweeted me back saying, okay, what's your pledge? I thought, all right, here we go. So you've laid down the gauntlet for me now, haven't you? So at that point, I made the commitment, okay, yeah, I'm going to join the cycle scheme and I'm going to commute to work every day. And I'm happy to say that I have done that. And I can't believe how easy it is. I work for NHS England. To make things happen takes a while. You sign up to the cycle scheme. The very next day, I was given a voucher to go and get a bike. It was genuinely unbelievable. But actually, what I needed was a bit of inspiration, a bit of motivation. And actually, in this case, Hayley provided that. What you can't see on this side is, you can at the top, 90% of people wanted to change their lives. But the things that were stopping them were those wider determinants. So education, housing, transport, income. The things that we don't always focus on when we talk about improving health outcomes. And hopefully when I flick to the next slide, I'll explain better what I mean by that. So you'll be glad to hear this is my final slide, but this outlines the GM Population Health Plan. So it was launched at the turn of the year, and it's trying to take a very much holistic view to health, to take that step back and step further away really from some of the issues that we're looking at. And one of the ways we try to explain that, and hopefully I'll do it justice today, is to use that example of the bike. So hopefully you can see that. What you can see is that the front wheel are the behaviours that we all exhibit every day, and those behaviours kind of drive our attitude, they drive our activity, they drive our lifestyle. But the important bit behind that are those wider determinants. So the rear wheel gives us the power, gives us the momentum. We can shift through those gears and we can actually get the pace and the power within that. Now our role in the partnership and wider is to actually influence those wider determinants. So it's more than the Taking Charge strategy, it's working with the GM strategy, with Greater Manchester Combined Authorities, working with the Mayor. What can we do to influence some of those agendas? And the plan really backs that up. And what we're working through at the moment with colleagues, specifically around the physical activity, but much wider, is drawing in the investment for that. All localities in Greater Manchester are receiving investment from the partnership, but also, importantly, so is population health as a theme. And it's so vital that we do that. You can see the kind of data on the slide about how the colourful graph is the influence of our behaviours on the outcomes within that for our health. So around half our behaviour influences our health, but we only spend 7% of our budget on it. Clearly, there's a reason for that. We have to deal with the demand management, but our challenge is to protect that 7% and try and make it be spent in a more kind of holistic and relevant way. And really importantly, what we're trying to show through our investment is we know that if you invest at scale, it's 5 times more effective than investing at an individual basis. So things like the Daily Mile are fantastic examples of that. If we can scale things up, we know we can achieve so much more. So if anyone wants to talk to me further about the Population Health Plan or the partnership in more detail, please do so. But the GM Moving Plan, fantastic document, fantastic strategy, fantastic piece of work that we're really pleased to be involved in. And I'm going to pass back to Hayley because she's going to talk you through more of the targets and the detail behind the plan. Thank you.